Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time for us to start talking about another avenue of hypocrisy in the gacha space. And that is, of course, going to be focused on Honkai Star Rail, what remains of its community, and of course, the response that the community has had over the Archer Light Cone. And if you're not familiar with what's actually going on when it comes to the Archer Light Cone, well, it's this. The idea, right, is that you'll be able to get a free copy of Archer's Light Cone, quote unquote, a free copy, after spending 200 limited pulls across just version 3.4. And so the idea is that there's supposed to be around 90 pulls actually available in the version. And if you haven't saved or if you don't spend, that's not going to be something you can actually get. And the thing is that, well, the Honkai Star Rail community loves this shit. They love it. They think it's the best thing ever. And now that there's been a bit of discourse, we've made a couple of videos, other creators have made a couple of videos talking about how inherently predatory it is to have a $220 spending event right after having a spending event for their anniversary. Well, it's time to start playing some defense. It's time to start talking about how good it actually is. So let's start breaking down the inner machinations of a HSR shill and find out what the reasoning actually is here. It's a bit of a long paragraph, a bit of a long essay we're doing to defend Hoyoverse here.
Why are there players hating on Hoyo for the Archer LC? Why even compare it to Kuro's pulling event?
Because one's getting shit on and the other isn't.
It's funny that there are those who compare 10 free pulls from Kuro and a guaranteed signature LC from Hoyo.
It's actually 5. That's how little this person knows.
Pull 80 times and get 10x versus pull 200 times and get 8 to 160x.
Once again, it's 5.
Everyone knows that for a long time now that the collab is going to happen. If you really cared for the event, you should have saved.
Oh, so people knew that the 200 pull spending event was gonna happen? Oh wait, they didn't. And you could also think about it this way. What if there's somebody that built up pity for Finon's banner? They're at a guaranteed with 60 pulls. And so 10 more, they'll get Finon. And then they saved up 160 for Saber. Oh, I guess they should just go fuck themselves.
To be honest, this free LC is nothing but a bonus for those who really plan to pull.
So, somebody that saved up and built up pity for Finon's banner, and then also saved up maybe like 80 pulls for the update, knowing that they'll get like, 80, 90, 100, they will just not be able to get the LC. They should have known it was going to be a 200 pull spending event. Okay, awesome.
The fact that a lot of players became an Archer main wannabe all of a sudden is crazy. It's true that it's difficult, but don't even argue you were not informed for a long time already.
Yeah, nobody knew the 200 pull event was coming.
And don't even reason out that Hyacinth or Casterus or Anaxer or Cypher or the Herder or Mighty are too good to skip. That's on you.
Greedy and stupid, ladies and gentlemen. Greedy and stupid is back.
Also, don't use the whole, they already had a spending event during the anniversary card because they did not ask you to use those shards or jades. They incentivize you to purchase. What a bunch of hater.
This is an edit. So we'll get to the edit after we read some of the comments because this edit was made after the comments. Updated. 6 hours ago, 430 updates. The level of absolute cope in this community and the level of defense that they're playing for one of the most predatory things we've ever seen in the history of the game is incredible. So let's just read some of the comments. They should have made the pity 300 for the Fate experience. Good joke, because that's what the pity is in Fate Grand Order, another gacha game featuring the franchise.
Archer is a hunt character too, which means there's plenty of free-to-play light cones to go around for him to use. It's not like you're completely screwed.
They're completely missing the point. They're missing the issue entirely. In that, it's 160 pulls at maximum that they're just getting robbed out on because they didn't save for an event that they didn't know was happening. We're out here. We are blaming players for not being the Oracle of fucking Delphi and knowing that there's going to be a 200 pull spending event coming up in the future. We've already illustrated a scenario where somebody could have properly planned for this update and they're still getting fucked. Once again, you just have a guaranteed for Finon that you only need 10 pulls. And then you saved up like 80, 70, 80 for Saber. You get 90 in the patch and you're still 20 to 30 pulls short. It's literally impossible for you to get those pulls unless you pay money. Literally impossible. But hey, I guess that doesn't really matter, right? I guess that doesn't really matter. And of course, on the game's first collab event, there being this predatory of a fucking event, I guess that doesn't matter either. What else we got? Gacha games are predatory and people need to learn how to manage their funds are two statements that can and should coexist. But alas, a good chunk of people fail to grasp this concept. Archer's LC campaign isn't even locked behind a paywall. If you saved up 200 pulls and spend them on literally any banner during 3.4, you get the item. And we're just continuing to blame the players. After these devs just released the two strongest characters in the game, your Caster Ricey and your Hyacinth, and then Tribby in the previous patches. You just released the strongest support and the strongest DPS in the game, and we're just out here blaming the players for having pulled them. Because once again, you could have planned properly and still be getting fucked by this update. But the shills are the only people remaining after the global passive fiasco, after the first spending event. I don't think this game actually has free-to-play players anymore. I think they've all disappeared. I think they've all quit the game. And now these devs are just nickel and diming every single remaining player into oblivion, and they love it. They love getting milked like fucking cows. That is like their new fetish. Fucking Dewey just extracting every single bit of value he possibly can from their wallets. It's too good to skip is just an excuse for the gambling addiction. Once again, we're just blaming players. One thing you've noticed across every single top upvoted comment, blaming the players for pulling in a gacha game. Blaming the players for not having 200 pulls ready to go for an unannounced, unknown, nobody saw it coming spending event. The community just wants something new to complain about. No. They have something new to complain about, but you're saying it's not a big deal. As you can see over here, guys, as you can see, the level of absolute stupidity, especially knowing that this is a game with 50-50s, especially knowing that the collaboration banners have a separate pity count that's not shared with like the regular limited one, so you have to start all the way back from 0 and you have to lose you can lose a 50-50 over there. All of this stuff that's happening right now is just so insane, because you know that when these are the top upvoted comments, ladies and gentlemen, you know they're actively censoring people, actively mass downvoting the people that have legitimate concerns. And so instead of sorting by vest, why don't we sort by controversial and see what it's all about? Always love to see posts complaining about people complaining about a controversy, but not seeing the mentioned post at all. But here, let's talk about it. Say I have no guarantees at all. I'm starting at 0 pity. Getting a character at E0 is a max of 180 or 20 short. Getting a character at S1 is a maximum of 160 or 40 short. Getting both E0 S1 is at max 340 pulls, or 140 over. Getting two characters is at max 360, or 160. So in all four scenarios, it doesn't match with the 200. You either fall quite short or shoot way over. But it gets better. Say I want to pull for Saber and I get lucky. I win my 50-50 at 90 pulls. Good, I'm 90 from 200. And LC is 160. I'm guaranteed to get that free LC. Great. Oh, but you got lucky and got that LC on 80 pulls. That's actually really bad because that would be like 10 above the pity. That's 170 pulls. You're 30 pulls short from that free LC. What do? No choice but to build pity. And so there's even more issues where simply getting lucky and not losing 50-50s will just incentivize you to go fuck yourself even further in this game. They could have made the free LC event last for 3.4 and 3.5, and probably until the end of the Fate banner itself, 3.4 to 3.6, and nobody would have complained. But nah, it's only for 3.4. So no, I don't think this event is very nice or quite player-friendly or whatever else players are coping with. I think it's quite the opposite. And of course, that one's not going to be on the front page. A legitimate critique that clearly outlines the scenarios where players are getting fucked over, but it's getting mass downvoted. I'm sure there are some people that are upvoting it, but this is what the Honkai Star Rail community is now doing to legitimate critiques. And so, I've shown you a lot of textual examples. Why don't we just go ahead and see what some of the biggest Hoyoshills content creators, or maybe Gabby Maru might lose this title now. Let's see what's going on with him, because he made a 13-minute video talking about how the Archer light cone is bullshit. And boy, oh boy, his audience is not very happy with that one, ladies and gentlemen. His audience was not very happy with this one. Yeah, this guy's been very critical about a lot of Wuthering Waves practices. Very illegitimate in those critiques. But it looks like he is trying to turn over a new leaf, or at least be a little bit more equilateral in his critiques, because he is rightfully calling out that the Archer Light Code is in fact bullshit, but his community, full of Hoyoshills and HSR shills, is mass downvoting the fuck out of him. He should take a page from the book of an actual Hoyoshill and just not talk about it at all. This is what you're supposed to do, my friend. Oh, wait, he actually did talk about it? Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, I bet he's defending it. Yeah. This few downvotes, I bet he's defending it. Yep. I bet he's gonna be like, greedy and stupid, you should have saved. Yep. Wait, let's see if we can get the rundown of it. Let's see if we can get the rundown. Oh, he is defending it.
At the same time, right? The first of which is being, I only have like 10 boosts, right? 20 boosts. I only have 30 boosts, right? I don't have enough pools to hit the 200 pools in order to get the Archer Light Code. Now, this is one of the most common points brought up where a population of the player base has insufficient pools to obtain the 200 pool mark in order to get the free Archer Light Code. Or, free to play, they are completely locked off from this event because there's no way a free to play can get 200 pools within 3.4. Because generally speaking, within a single patch for Honkai Star Rail, I don't think there has ever been a single patch which gives a free-to-play player more than 100-ish pools. Maybe launch they gave out like 120, 100.4, right? Saved way longer in advance, right? It's not like Fate Kodak Banner just got announced last week and all of a sudden we need to get 200 pools just for this time to get Archer Synergy Light Code for both free-to-plays as well as banners alike. So an analogy would be something like if you wanted to, you know, do well in an exam, right? But you didn't really study for the exam, which has been announced very, very long ago, months ago, all the way until the very last day before the exam. And then these players, they complain, oh my god, why did I not have enough time to study? This exam.
Bro's comparing. Bro's making an analogy of an unannounced 2.0 spending, 200 pull spending event, and saying it's fine because the collab was announced a year ago. The spending event was not, so that makes the spending event okay. This would be like, let's hear it out. Let's hear out the full thing.
Was way too last minute. I don't have enough time, and I'm gonna do very well when they have really spent all this time just doing anything else but study for the exam. So
no. You want to know what this is an analogy of? This is knowing that there's going to be an exam about something, and then on the day of the exam, it's on something completely different. Did they tell you there was going to be a 200 pull spending event when the collab was announced? Even if you take the pulls from version 3.3 and add them to the pulls from 3.4, that's still not even 200. So you would have had to start saving from version 3.2 to have the 200 pulls required. You would have had to have been saving for over 3 months to have the pulls required. Nobody told us there was going to be a 200 pull spending event, and bro's out here defending it. Much like these absolute fucking dipshits in this subreddit. Of course, the Hoyoshill's gonna be the Hoyoshill. That's why we're farming so many upvotes, ladies and gentlemen. We made another dog shit analogy to defend a game coming out with the most predatory practices, setting the bar once again in the space. Boy, are we surprised that MrPokke has done this again. Are we surprised? Why does he get so, why does this guy get so offended when people call him a Hoyoshill? Why does he get so caught up in his feelings when people call him a Hoyoshill, guys? When we're on the record using the worst reasoning in gacha history to defend a company continuing to nickel and dime you. Jesus Christ. I didn't even know this video was here. I had no idea this was even something I was going to cover today. This literally came out of nowhere. This is like a random event in RuneScape, and the reward for it is a party hat because I get to see MrPokke being an absolute dipshit once again. Oh my gosh. Now that's a good analogy. So yeah, of course, right? I don't think we need to see particularly too much more of this, right? The reason that we even pulled him up was to see an example of what a Hoyoshill would do. I thought he was just going to keep silent on the issue. I thought he just wasn't going to say anything and just sweep the problems under the rug and not address it. But MrPokke actually has gone to the next level, and he is now actively defending it instead. He's now actively defending the predatory decisions and using awful reasoning to do it. Great, great, good stuff. Good stuff. Do we need to see any more, chat? I don't think we have to. Do we? Is this something we have to do? I don't particularly think so. What, we're just gonna hear him like fucking speak more fucking nonsense? Call us greedy and stupid once again? Maybe his last words on the whole thing? Okay, so this is his take over here. He's gonna say the MOC actually isn't worth very much, and so if you were pulling for meta to be able to clear the endgame content, you're being greedy and stupid because that's only like X amount of pulls per cycle. He's basically just gonna say you shouldn't deserve to play the game if you also wanted to participate in the Fate collab. Yeah, you're just a stupid idiot for deciding to pull the meta characters that are overpowered. Okay, what else do we have over here? Only E0, S0. He's going to talk about how Larcher is going to be completely fine without his light cone. He'll still be able to clear the content. He'll still have like good performance overall, and so not having it's not an issue. Am I wrong about it? How do I already know what script he's going to use? Oh, right. It's the same exact retarded shit that people said in this thread. Oh, right. It's the same exact dumbass shit that people have been saying in this thread. It's like so pre-watched because I know how this community operates. I know how dumb this community is. I know what reasoning they're going to use in advance. And so, if that's not the reasoning, sure, I'll say I was caught. But the fact that I can see this in his B-roll, and the fact that he's saying only E0, S0, I already know. I want to see how your theory performs. Watch it in 1.5x. Okay, fine. It's not that long. Let's see.
Now, another point that's going to be discussed is that it is basically impossible to get 200 pulls by 3.4 because the last 3 banners, they were all masked pool banners. And so this is going to be another common point that was brought up, that masked pool banners in Honkai Star Rail, where we had back-to-back Casualist, Hyacinth, and Cypher, and they're all like super meta, super good, tier 0, triple tier 0.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Every single one of this, oh my god, all the other DPS spell of these are the best units, and if you don't put them, you simply cannot play the game. This is very reminiscent of something that it's almost like I've played these games before. I won't really go into the whole endgame discussion here because there are more than sufficient examples showing how clearing endgame is completely viable without any of the last 3 banner units. Hell, even without the version 3 teams can still clear the endgame content. But notwithstanding that point, the same players that are complaining that we are getting mass pool banners in Honkai Star Rail, they probably fell into the same trap of losing sight of the bigger picture. It has never ever been sustainable to constantly pull for meta, which is pretty much going to be the best teams right now at this point of time, especially for the free-to-plays, because endgame in Honkai Star Rail, they're constantly updated to shield for the latest unit, be it with environmental buff or enemy artifact. So let's just say, even if the players could not clear the endgame, the amount of pulls that you will lose out is inconsequential compared to the amount of pulls.
Are we good on that point? Are we good? It doesn't, yeah, the amount of pulls doesn't really matter. Yeah, who cares if you don't clear? All right, let's move on to the next one.
Going to be. And the last counterpoint, which is going to be, if you only wanted E0 S0, right? You didn't want to pull for an E0 S1. Now you're forced to pull for another light cone just for the sake of Archer's light cone.
Oh, sorry, this is a completely different point. This isn't about Archer's performance at E0 S0. Sorry, this is only if you wanted to pull a character at E0 S0. Okay, then this one is probably going to be, oh, you can just build up pity. There's so many other characters on banner that you can build up pity for, and if you just get the character early, right, who cares?
So if you only want to pull for a E0 Azure, let's just say E0 Azure Saber, and then you wanted to be happy with the E0 Azure Archer that you're beginning for the free event, now you have to pull the light cone in order to get the other light cone. Is this a predatory move? Like I mentioned before, yes it is. But the answer is very simple if you want to take a look back in the numbers over here again. For the general median population, the pulls for an E0 Azure is at roughly 150 pulls, which the argument of being forced to pull just for Archer's light cone instantly falls apart because you have quite literally saved yourself 86 summons, the almost exact amount that's needed to hit the 200 pull criteria if you didn't.
Sorry, never mind. His reasoning is even more retarded than I thought.
Not pull for the same light cone. It is not about being forced to pull for the sake of Archer's S1. It's more like if you already wanted an E0 S1 in the first place, this event gives you another signature light cone for free 99, which saves.
Oh, okay. So this event just gives you a free light cone is what he's saying. It's like, who cares if you didn't? This implies that you have the 200 pulls in the first place. And so it's like, yeah, actually, who cares if you end up having to pull for something you don't want? You're actually getting a 2-for-1. But bro's out here talking about, like, it's good that you're forced into a 2-for-1 for something that you didn't want in the first place. This is like the dudes, the street vendors in, like, a fucking third world country coming up to you, asking if you want, like, this rotting carcass, right? Hey, we'll let you out of this town alive if you buy this rotting carcass from us. It's a 2-for-1 deal, right? You get to your destination safely, and you get this great bonus on the side.
Gives you the 86 summons that you would have otherwise spent. It is more so of a buy one, get one free situation. Sure, it is a free light cone, but if you did not even intend to pull E0 S1 in the first place, then you would have walked away saving the exact same amount of pulls for future banners. This is...
I can't, bro. I can't. Okay, all right. So, we've clearly seen what it looks like from the most crazy shill point of view. Holy shit, I'm mind blown. I'm honestly mind blown. Oh my gosh, I can't even believe what just happened here. So, we just talked about, that was a bit of a segue. That was not even intended, ladies and gentlemen. We talked about how Gabby Maru over here, right, was clearly not appealing to the Hoyoshill audience. And this is what happened. And so what he should have done was either been like MrPokke, bent over, glazed it, shoved all 2 inches of dough into him. But because he did this, well, look at his next video. Look at the next video that he made. I apologize. So we got another creator, ladies and gentlemen, trying to express honest thoughts, honest critique about a game that's doing awful things. And because you have absolute jokesters in the community overglazing the shit out of and minimizing the huge negativity surrounding and something that actively makes the game worse, well, guess what happens? You have people in the community that are actually calling stuff out. They're getting bullied into changing their opinion. They're getting bullied, manhandled on social media, having their channel, viewership, engagement, analytics destroyed because you have shills like this. You have shills like this actively going around and destroying the content creation scene for this game. Because guess what, guys? If you're not overglazing, what are you going to do? The Gabby Morrow vid is an apology bait? Oh, really?
So, Sid, I do apologize for not giving one fuck.
Okay, never mind. He's actually based. You know what? Never mind. Holy shit. Maybe we were wrong about Gabby Maru the entire time, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe he actually is a little bit of a based individual. I had no idea that that was going to be the actual premise of the video. Oh my gosh. Wow. Looks like we still have maybe one creator left in the space, ladies and gentlemen. Holy shit. So I guess we have one person left in the scene. Ladies, I apologize. I wasn't aware of his game. Yeah. Bro was a menace to Wuthering Waves, but I think he's finally turned over a new leaf. Because as you can see on his profile page, that's Chisa. His profile banner on YouTube is a Wuthering Waves character. Huh. Interesting. So I guess that's how it all crumbles, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like even after getting attacked by the community as a whole, even after feeling pressured by some of the biggest shills in gacha gaming, it seems that some creators are actually fighting back. And boy, oh boy, am I excited to see how this situation develops further into the future. Let me know what you all think, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.